Hi, this is Unimagination. Welcome to the Ethical Asshole, and I am your host, the Salty Bitch. Every epiphany I have, every concept, every idea is a stepping stone that I just like drop into the ground, and it paves the way for wherever I'm going. And I can see where I'm going, definitely clear as day. And the how I get there that's the adventure that I get to live every day. And this is where it's a whole trust the universe, follow your intuition, keep yourself open and scanning always for opportunity doors. And then as things come to you, you grab them, you put them in, and you build your path toward where you're going. And as obstacles arise, you have to build around the obstacles. A lot of people think you have to, and sometimes you have to solve the obstacles, but a lot of times you just navigate around them. And then you avoid them all completely, and then you have no obstacles because you're literally just sailing around them. And then you don't have to disassemble your obstacles. You can just sail around them. When you learn how to navigate, you realize you don't have to go through everything. So I have no idea where I'm going sometimes because I'm focused on this is my end goal, and I just don't know the path I'm getting there. And then I have all these feelings that come up, and the feelings get interpreted into the who I become along the journey. Really amazing. And every one of us goes through this. This is like the math for how it's done. And one thing that's really been inaccessible to my language for a long time is, have you ever had that feeling if you are a non-Native American who doesn't know the origin of your past, a white person in America? Have you ever had that feeling like you're an orphan because you've lost your origin mother country, but you also don't belong here? So you feel like a nomad. So you wander and nothing feels like home. And when you visit your heritage homeland, it doesn't feel right. You know you're different. But when you're in America, that doesn't feel right either. That's how I have felt every day of my life. And I was born and raised under white supremacy rule. I don't belong to those people. I never belonged to those people. They're too unethical and they're criminals. They're not my people. Which even made me more of an outcast. So now I'm going, I have no country. I have no origin motherland. I just have my ethics. And as soon as the white supremacists realize that you're not one of them, they call you a traitor. And they have some really horrible, vile things to say that is worthy of a criminal. And then you wander because you have no place. And you might find other wanderers and you're nomadic, but you have no home. And you crave home. This is how I have lived every day of my life. So I hang around with minorities, Black people, Latinos, because I feel at home and comfortable with them, but I'm their ally. I don't understand their struggle. I don't pretend to understand their struggle. But I have my own struggle that goes without a name. It's I don't have a homeland and I don't have an origin and I don't have a home here in America because this is stolen land and I don't belong anywhere and I'm nomadic and I feel like an orphan and I was raised by unethical criminals and I am for the disadvantaged because I stand with the truth and the ethics, but they don't accept me because I'm not one of them. I'm an outsider, so I am just a country of one, but I'm a nomad. So I'm creating a culture. Boom. And this is my flag. I don't have a flag for it yet. And I don't have a name for us either. I'm just nomadic. I'm a squatter because we're squatting on land that isn't ours. So I don't even recognize the government as mine because I'm not Roman, and I'm not an unethical criminal. That is the law for unethical criminals, which doesn't apply to me. So I'm sitting here going, who's in charge? And if you're an unethical criminal, great, you got a system all ready for you. But there's a lot of people who are inside trying to make it work, and it's not working for them. And they know it. And they're like, yeah, but it's the best we got. And then I'm just sitting here thinking logically. I was laying in bed this morning, and I was like, you know who's in charge? Who's really in charge? Are the Native Americans. And a usurped king does not stop you from being a king. You're still a king. It's called a birthright. And then I realized if I'm going to be here, they're the ones who I actually need to go ask permission for. And then it just kind of like, so I reached out to the chieftains of of the 5 nations today. I'm in New York, so I went to the 5 nations. And I wrote to the chieftains, apologized, and asked permission to be here. And that felt right. That felt good. And that opened a lot of doors. So I started a petition for the people who are like me. We're nomads. We're white people without country. We're white people without country. And the true authority in America are the Native Americans. It's there regardless of whether or not you feel it, think it, believe it. It's not your opinion. It's logical law and ethical order. And then I went, well, I acknowledge it because it's ethical law and natural order. It's logic. It's their home. So why am I taking orders from a bunch of criminals? They don't respect law. They don't even hold themselves accountable to the same law that they're holding everybody else to. They put all the punishment law onto us while they hoard all the beneficial law for themselves. They're criminals. Why are we trying to negotiate with criminals? They elect criminals to run the criminal law. The whole country was built out of a war crime. And that makes all law under a criminal null and void. Just like that. So it feels really good to finally name this thing that's been eating away at me for 40 years. So whenever you heal, there's a catch-22 going on. And that's why the past keeps repeating itself, is because you have an illogical point and you go through life and then it takes you right back. And you got to learn, or you'll repeat the mistake, or you'll end up right back where you started. So you've got to learn, and it just keeps cycling through. And I realized our point of crime was right here in 1776. We were fine to divorce the king. We were fine to write up the Declaration of Independence and say, we hereby divorce you. But then we turned around and committed the exact same crimes against the people here. Instead of asking for parley, instead of saying we need help, instead of saying, so we're a people without a country because we just divorced our mother country because of the abuse, will you take us in? And they would have. They would have. And I realized this is what it comes down to, because here we are, a whole group of us now going, where do we go? To the Native Americans, like we should have 200 years ago, and say, we don't have a home. Would you be willing to take us in? Because our choices are the sons and daughters of a criminal, or wandering nomadically without a land, which is what we've been doing our whole lives. So this is the stuff that no one's talking about. And I realized this actually solves pretty much all of the societal problems in one blow. Just there you go. And they know how to lead and govern properly. They've been doing it properly for hundreds of years, effectively, the right way. They got their shit together. These guys are like master leaders. That's right. So I started a petition. And the very first thing on this petition is an apology, an absolute apology, and asking for forgiveness so that we can take the first step to making things right with the Native Americans. So that petition, if you're interested, is on the link, my link tree below. And this is going to be my path from now on. That is where I belong. I finally found where my purpose, this has been my purpose the whole damn time, right here. And I'm like, oh, this is my purpose. So right now I got to come up with a really uber awesome name for the nomadic immigrant white people, because that's what we are. We're immigrants. I'm an immigrant. And I got to figure out a really cool name for us, because we are orphans without a mother country. Because it's the right fucking thing to do. So that's where I'm at. And the best part is I don't want to lead. I don't want to lead. So this is the best fucking part. I don't have to lead. They're going to lead, which is like, yes, this is so wonderful, because I don't want to lead, but they can. They're doing a great job of it. This is fantastic. So I feel great. I feel really great. So yeah. So this is my path. Thank you. And may the kindest of words always find you.